Hello, this is Eric from AD Racing Central. In my opinion, the Steam Deck is a pretty remarkable gaming platform, and it also just might be the perfect one if you're a console player but still want to enjoy the occasional PC exclusive game, like an anti-gravity racing game for example. But it's hard to know which games will run well on the Steam Deck. Some games are marked with a verified icon, which suggests that they will run just fine, but some games are marked with the unknown icon, in which case it's hard to know how well it will run. In this video, I'll try a couple of anti-gravity racing games out and see how well they run on the Steam Deck. Let's get started. Alright, so the first game we're gonna try is Aero GPX, an early access game from, I think, a solo developer. This game is marked with a verified icon, so it really should be no problem. But let's see. We pick one of the ships among the colorful cast. I like this one, the one that looks like a jet plane. This game has a distinct cel-shaded look, it looks like a cartoon. And if you haven't noticed already, it's heavily inspired by F-Zero. Here we are above in the slipstream. The goal is to follow the little green line here, where the slipstream is the strongest. Since this game was marked as verified, I didn't fiddle at all with the settings, and as you can see, it seemed to be running just fine. Yeah, this is one of those really fast-paced games, so the controls are really responsive, where you need to be careful with your stick inputs. A lot of F-Zero fans seem to be looking forward to the full release, but now the game is in early access, and if you like what you see, I really recommend picking it up. It's super fun, and I think it's safe to say that Aero GPX works just fine on the Steam Deck. Let's move on to the next game. Alright, now we're trying on a game called Deathgrip, or more specifically the demo version, as this game has not yet been released yet. This game is marked with the unknown icon, so we'll have to see how well it runs. We're getting some slight frame rate stutters here at the intro screen, so let's not get our hopes up too high. The quality set for supercomputer is the Steam Deck a supercomputer? Maybe not. Is it a toaster? Let's see. Let's pick this neat looking craft and off we go. In case you haven't noticed yet, this game is heavily inspired by Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. I actually had the pleasure of interviewing the developer of this game, or one of the two developers I think. It was the first interview I did on my channel, it was super interesting. As you can see, the game doesn't look all that pretty, but it runs relatively smooth. Yeah. Just because of that we got a couple of stutters here. I just remembered that there are some intricate gameplay mechanics in this game that I have forgotten all about. Well, I have to say that this is playable. I mean, the actual game looks... this is the actual game, but it can look much prettier. But considering the little piece of hardware that the Steam Deck is, this is not too bad actually. It runs pretty smooth. If I were to stick a label on this game myself, I wouldn't pick verified, I'd go for playable. And with that, we end the video about this game and move on to the next one. And now we are moving on to Ballistic NG, one of the most popular PC exclusive anti-gravity racing games that are out there. This is from developer Neognosis, and the game takes heavy inspiration from the Wipeout games from the early PS1 era. This game is marked with the unknown icon, so we'll see how well it will run on the Steam Deck. There is quite a good number of ships to choose from in this game. And to be honest, I have deceived you a bit because I have played this game multiple times on my Steam Deck and I know that it runs flawlessly. I think this game is playable in 120 FPS, which is not something that the Steam Deck can handle, but other than that, I mean, this game just runs so well on this hardware. Obviously it's not the most graphically demanding game that is out there, but nevertheless it looks beautiful when in motion, and the art style and everything looks really good. Yeah, in case you didn't know, this is the game to play if you are a fan of the original PS1 Wipeout games. If that describes you as a player, then this game is definitely something that you should check out. So Ballistic NG definitely deserves a verified stamp on it. I have no idea why it still says unknown. Alright, on to the next game. The next game we're trying out is called XF Extreme Formula, another very popular F-Zero-like game that is also in early access. Yeah, I already see that automatic settings for the graphics is set to quite low. So as good as the game will run, that's the best we're gonna get on the Steam Deck probably. Oh, the recent update added quite a few new ships. Unfortunately, I haven't unlocked any of them, so we're just gonna pick the white Kestrel. Alright, let's go. Yeah, just as in the case with Deathgrip, this game runs, but I'm quite confident we are getting less than 30 FPS right now. I would say much less. Maybe the game is still playable, but yeah, it's not pretty to look at. Yeah, this game has this very aggressive boosting mechanic where your next boost will be powerful depending on how much you boosted before or something like that. It really encourages to boost all the time. It's almost like the Space Marine games where the only way to get your health back is to be aggressive and do executions on your enemies. Yeah, except for Extreme Formula is marked with the unknown symbol, and at best I'd say it's playable. It's not really worthy of the verified stamp, because that would suggest that the game would run really well with normal graphical settings, which it clearly doesn't. Alright, let's just conclude that the Steam Deck is not the optimal platform to play XF Extreme Formula on. On to the next game. Now we are playing Star Racer, another game developed by more or less just one person who has outsourced bits and pieces here and there. Star Racer has the verified icon on it, and it also has very minimalistic graphics, so I'm hopeful that this game will run quite well. Let's go with a Fandango Flamingo. Off we go. These little capsules are very important to pick up because they increase your speed. But they also double as fuel for your little spin attack. So it's sort of a balance between using your weapons and going fast. And you will also notice that this game runs really well on this platform. It has the verified icon for a reason. This is also quite a unique game. It's with its mix between 2D and 3D. And the person who develops it, Brendan Anderson, is a super nice guy, whom I also had the pleasure of interviewing. Yeah, I think we can leave it at that. Star Racer is a game that I could talk about a lot more, but let's just say that if you own a Steam Deck, you can also get into the early version of this game, no problem. Alright, we have one more game to try out. Let's move on. And the game we're trying out next is called Trailblazers. This game I played quite a bit on PlayStation 5, but on the Steam Deck it is marked with the unknown icon, so we're gonna see how well it runs. Let's set up a race here first. We're gonna pick this little frog dude. And this game also has some really unique team mechanics that I'll talk about while I play the race. As you can see, the track is sometimes painted with different colors. The blue color is my team's color and the yellow one is my opponent's. So I'm gonna paint over their paint with my paint. And if I run through this little boost ring, then I will paint the track ahead of me. As you may have noticed already, you go much faster while you drive, or rather fly in your paint. That was not a boost ring. You also have the option of shooting the paint ahead of you. And as you also may have already noticed, the game runs more or less flawlessly on the Steam Deck. So they might as well smack a verified icon on this game too. Obviously I don't own all Android guided racing games available on Steam, so if there's a game you think that will run well on the Steam Deck, then let us all know in a comment. And if you think that Trailblazers is an interesting looking game, then you might as well want to check out this video about some other unknown Android guided racing games. But that will be it for this video. I'm Eric from AD Racing Central and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!